Welcome to this week's episode of LdnOnt TV here on Rogers TV. I am your host, Brona Morgan. Here's the show that we talk about what people in London, southwestern Ontario, and I'm sure all over Ontario are talking about this, the
Yes.
Forest City Film Festival. Coming up in October, it happens every year, and I'm sure in some large part because of Dorothy Downs, Executive Director. Talk to me about the film festival.
It is. It's just around the corner. It's like festival month.
Right.
It's so much fun. It's so wonderful. Yes, so we're going into our 8th year now. And for those of the audience that don't know who we are, there are still a few of those out there.
Yep.
We focus on films with a connection to the region of southwestern Ontario.
Right.
And we curate a bunch of amazing films from the best and the most important film festivals around the world. So we do a bit of both, but we focus on films that are connected to the region because we want to show Londoners and people from the region just what amazing talent we have here in this city. We are a city that's filled with talented people, and of course filmmakers, they all have to go elsewhere. So there might be, they might be down in Hollywood making films, they could be in Toronto, they could be in Vancouver, but we still bring their films back here. So we like to say they're not local films, they're films just with a connection to our region. So we look at them and we're just amazed at how many people we have from this area who do incredible work. So we thought, let's make a film festival about it. It's grown from 2 days up to now we're at 9 days of films. Yeah, we have about 39 programs that you can choose from. There is every kind of film that you can want, from feature to short, documentary to narrative, funny to scary to nail-biting thrillers to romance, and some of, honestly, the best films in the world that you're not going to see anywhere else, frankly.
Wow. And you're going to see them downtown London.
You got it. Downtown London.
How do people get involved in a film festival? Whether it is people who want to volunteer, people who want to see some of these awesome films, or even people who are filmmakers?
Yeah, well, the filmmakers, they all start submitting their films in March. So we've been working at this for a long time. We've got a nice team of people at the Forest City Film Festival office who put together a website so that the customers can go on that website and check out the film. So it's fcff.ca.
Great.
And that's the best way for customers to go in and see what they want to see. There's a lot of choices, so don't feel overwhelmed. Take a little bit of time and read the films. There's, like I said, there's a big range. So we also have a lot of social media. There's some blogs that will give you some hints on, if you like comedy, so we've got some of that content too. So poke around a little bit. And I really recommend that people do like a taste of the festival. We've got these 6 ticket passes. So, go out and try 6 films over the course of a week, because that gives you a real festival experience when you have like a bit of an arc and a bit of a range of films that you see. So you can, rather than just going and cherry picking one, go and check out a handful of them. It's an awesome thing to do and lots of fun.
So over the years, you've been involved since the beginning of Forest City Film Festival. Any highlights for you?
Oh my gosh, thanks. That's a great question.
I guess the whole thing's a highlight.
No, there are, yes, but no, there are some actually spectacular moments, and every year seems to have them. And you never know when they're going to happen. This year, opening night, I think might be one of those absolutely stunning films, because it's Mr. Dress Up, the magic of make-believe. And so that film is actually got a lot of London connections. The manager of Mr. Dress Up was Don Jones, and everybody knows Don Jones here in London, Ontario. He's Jones Entertainment, so he runs Centennial Hall, and Jones Entertainment runs Rock the Park. So he was the manager of Mr. Dress Up. The director and the writer and producer are both from London, Ontario, so huge, strong connections. So there's going to be a really strong contingent of people who this film means the world to. And the film, it's running at TIFF right now, sold out shows, and it's a beautiful film. It's so poignant. It's charming. It makes you feel proud to be Canadian. So I know there's going to be some special moments, but we've had moments where, you know, standing ovations. For the longest standing ovation we had was 7 minutes.
Wow.
It was a film about military, and the men were all there, and it was just an incredible spine-tingling moment. The whole film was amazing. We've had several films like that. So every year, look out for them. There's always fantastic, amazing moments like that, and we expect to see a lot this year.
Beautiful. So in terms of how this whole machinery to put together something like this works, this has got to be a huge endeavor.
It is. It's an enormous endeavor. It takes a lot of support. The city helps us through the London Arts Council, so we're very grateful for that help. We also get help from the province. We get help from the federal government, and of course we need to have the people come out and enjoy it to get all that help, so our audience helps us. But we've got a big team of people who put it all together, and we work year-round to make this happen.
What is the reason? What's your why? So why was this so important for you 8 years ago that we really needed a film festival in London?
I come out of a theater background, and in the theater we had an incredible amount of talent in this city.
Absolutely.
In the theater, and I recall having people, you know, playing to a very sparse house and having friends say that they went to see something in Toronto, and I've been to an awful lot of productions in Toronto, and recognized that what we were doing in London was so much better than anything I had seen in Toronto. Just amazing. And we weren't recognizing ourselves. We weren't really embracing the arts that we have in this region. And we are, I don't know why, there's something, maybe it's the forks of the Thames. We have this amazing creative energy.
Absolutely.
In this city. So I really wanted to build something that would bring that pride to regional audiences for the talent that's among us. I also wanted to build the capacity of regional filmmakers and make us more of a cinema region, make us more of a region that really that really embraces film, loves film, makes film, and I wanted to inspire future filmmakers. So, you know, we've built, in addition to the film festival, we have the Ontario Screen Creators Conference that runs at the same time, and that's to help really bolster the industry in the region. And then we also inspire future filmmakers with our Forest City Youth Film Festival.
I'd love to hear about that.
And then, yes, okay, I'll get onto that right away, because what that is it's a multi-layered competition, like WASA and OFSA. So for athletes,
wow.
We've long done this for athletes, where the kids that win at the city finals, they go to the regional finals, and then the regional finals go to the Ontario finals. And so we've done it for creatives now with filmmaking, because I mean, filmmaking is such a creative endeavor that crosses over so many areas, whether it's music, sound, camera work, art, of course storytelling, and so it's the perfect way to celebrate creatives. So our Forest City Youth Film Festival, it runs on Thursday, October 19th. It is such an amazing event to experience, and then the winners from that go to the Ontario Youth Film Festival, and they compete against a competition from Central Ontario in Barrie, and Northern Ontario in Sudbury, and Eastern Ontario. So they all compete together, the top films for the top youth filmmakers in Ontario.
Wow. Yeah. So youth filmmakers, even if you have this in mind on your radar for next year,
yes.
When do submissions happen?
Well, submissions open for the Youth Festival starting January 1st, and they close at the end of July. And for the main festival, it opens in March, so and it closes in the middle of July also. So then from the middle of July, we are just in a race to get all the material together and bring it all together, whether it's the Youth Festival or the main festival.
All right, so creatives, start creating. People who love film, start getting on that website, start making your plans. So the dates are?
The 14th is our opening night with Mr. Dress Up, The Magic of Make-Believe, and then we go right into full days of screenings at the Wolf Performance Hall in the library downtown. And then we also have the Imagine Cinema, and that's from the 15th through to the 22nd.
All right, so clear your schedule, London.
Yes.
Clear your schedule in Southwestern Ontario for the Forest City Film Festival.
Yes.
Back for its 8th year, 2020. 2023. Can't wait to see some of these films. Dorothy, thank you so much for telling us all about it. And I hope to see some of you there. Mr. Dress Up sounds like one that I can't miss from my childhood as well. So I'm very much looking forward to that, as well as the youth, all of the youth films. Very excited to see that as well. Thank you so much for taking the time today. This must be a busy time for you as well. And thanks for staying with us but please don't go away, because we do have another fascinating segment that you're going to want to hear about after the break.
This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and/or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed outside all sleeping areas.
Don't let the silent killer get you. Install working CO alarms today.
Unbelievable. You just never see that. What a shot. The OHL on Rogers TV.
I had the opportunity to meet John at a couple of community events, and he asked me at a couple of events. It was Handbags for Hospice, the Chamber of Commerce Awards, and the big Century 21 Golden Gala. My advice would be, if you're afraid, just try to get over that fear. I was camera shy. I was a little bit nervous about getting on camera and talking. But if you're shy, my advice is just jump in with both feet, because it's very rewarding and enjoyable. If you're passionate about your community and wanting to meet people from every corner of the community, whether, again, it be artists or small businesses or people in political office, definitely do it. It's a great opportunity to meet these people and get to know a little bit about what's happening around the community.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Welcome back to LdnOnt TV here on Rogers TV, talking with interesting people doing interesting things that you're going to want to get involved with if you live in this area. Welcome back to the show, Jennifer Martino. Last time we spoke, you were executive director at Crouch Neighbourhood Resource Centre, but you've got a new role with the City of London, and you have something that I know our viewers are going to want to hear about, that you look after. Neighborhood decision making. Love this whole program. Talk to us about it.
That's right. So now I'm really fortunate to be able to work with all neighborhoods in the City of London, and especially to have the neighborhood decision making program under my portfolio as manager of neighborhood development and support. And that means I get to work with all of the different city departments that work together to make our city a better place. But most importantly, it means that Londoners get a say in where part of the municipal budget is spent, and they can put forward ideas to make their neighborhood an even better place to live.
So neighborhood decision making has been around for a while. So for those people who don't know about this program, can you give us like the short version of how it all works?
Sure. It's a, as I said, participatory budgeting program, and this is the 6th year, and it means that as Londoners are walking around their neighborhood and thinking, I love my local playground, but it could use some more shade for the kids, or I love bike riding through the TVP, but once I had my bike breakdown and I'd really like a way to fix it, so I'd like some bike repair stations along the trail. Then they're able to put those ideas forward, and then Londoners are able to vote on them. And one of the best parts about the program is that you can be any age to vote, and also you don't need any specific residency in Canada. So this means it's really open to absolutely everyone to have a say about our city.
That is so cool. So the program, I think, it's right now is when people are starting to put their ideas forth. So can you give me a little bit of background about or maybe not background, but like describe to our viewers the process?
Yes, so Londoners throughout the month of September this year have been putting in ideas, and they have really wide range. So it can be something in a park, it can be environmental, it can even be to hold a small event in the neighborhood. And we've seen some really, really creative ideas. And there's a senior who put in an idea to have some benches between a nursing home and Cherry Hill Mall, because they were saying that some of the residents in their nursing home could get to the mall, but they couldn't get back up the hill. And more of them would be encouraged to walk if they had a place to rest as they went up. So it's really amazing when you look at the different ways that people with different perspectives and lived experience in our city experience living, working, and playing in London, and the things that come forward as a result of that experience. So we've been really excited to see the ideas coming in throughout the whole month. And now Londoners will have a chance on November 19th to be able to vote at all of the City of London library locations, the London Public Library locations. And also new this year, they'll be able to vote in person Monday through Friday, the 13th through the 18th, at any neighborhood resource center or community center in our city, because we thought that although you can vote online, you can vote on the phone, but it's nice to be able to have more options, to be able to go and flip through an idea booklet, fill out your ballot, and talk to someone about some of the great ideas that have come forward and have your say.
And so these projects could be something little like a bench, but it can be a big project as well.
Yes, that's true. For example, there is a girl in Lambeth who wanted to have some playground equipment that would be better suited to older children. She's 9 years old. And so she, with the help of her mom, put in an idea to have some additional equipment added to that playground. And it's really great to see how the park staff have been working with that family, and even invited them to pick out some of the colors for this playground edition and to come and put their handprint in the cement and put their names in it so that they can have a long-standing impact and be really proud of the change that they've made in their neighborhood. That's a bigger idea. That would be a little bit more expensive. We encourage ideas big and small, but the most funding that could go to one idea is $30,000.
And how do you divide that up? It's based on regions of London, or?
Yes, there are 5 different regions in London. So it can be the northwest, the southwest, the northeast, the southeast, and the center. And then within that, there are $50,000 available for each. So $250,000 in total.
Wow. So now, for somebody who has an idea, are there people at the city that can help you kind of flesh that idea out?
Yeah, absolutely. We have our neighborhood development and support team, and we have weekly meetings with people from other departments who can help us figure out whether or not an idea can go forward the way it was submitted, or if we need to ask some additional questions, or maybe if it could just be changed a little bit to make it work within the budget, or maybe to fit better with what's already existing in a playground, for example, in a neighborhood. So it's not that you submit the idea and that's it. We really work with people to make sure that exactly what they had in mind gets on that ballot, but within the confines of the program.
Fantastic. And I love the fact that it's all ages. So anybody can submit an idea and anybody can vote on an idea. And that was intentional.
Yes, yeah, that was very intentional. And so the city was looking at participatory budgeting exercises from across North America and even in different parts of the world. And it was a really important principle for London, and something that's very unique to London, to be able to have absolutely anyone who's a part of our community participate.
Fantastic ideas. So I've got an idea. No, that's not really fair, right, to throw this at you right now. Talk to me about, what's it like being in your new role? You obviously are missing, and we miss you at Crouch Neighborhood Resource Center as well. But talk to me more about your new role.
Yeah, well, working in Hamilton Road is really a privilege for the last 3.5 years.
Absolutely.
Because it's such a tight-knit community, and to be able to experience neighborhood development in one specific neighborhood that's so vibrant, where people are looking for ways to participate, and there's a really diverse group of people in that neighborhood. And so I think that's been great experience to be able to now go to the City of London and to be able to support neighborhood development at the entire city level. And I think that London is such a fascinating place because we have neighborhoods that are so unique from each other. But what we share is that Londoners are warm and friendly and enthusiastic, and we love taking advantage of different ways to participate in our community. And so I think we have a lot more in common than we have that separates us in the city, and I'm really excited just to learn a lot more about what other neighborhoods have to offer.
Absolutely. So you've probably got a bit of background now about neighborhood decision making since you come into this role. Do you have any ideas that are kind of like highlight maybe a few really, wow, that was so impressive from the past neighborhood decision making? Can you think of any?
I know that one that people are really enjoying right now is at the Pottersburg off-leash park, where they put in an agility course for dogs. And somebody sent in a picture, and they had these humongous dogs on this little agility equipment, but they were enjoying it. And then also really little dogs were having a good time with it too. And it could also be quite a simple thing that people are passionate about. So there was somebody who was concerned about duck feeding at one of the ponds, and they put an idea to have some signage and some education about that. And that idea made it through. So as I said, it can be a small thing, it can be a big thing. The important thing is that you have your voice heard, get your idea out there, and if you miss the idea submission, that's okay, because you can still be heard by voting for the ideas that your neighbors have put forward.
Fantastic. It's such a great way to engage with, voting is one thing when we have elections, but this is another way to engage with government. Everybody's got ideas, everybody's got opinions, so here's yet another opportunity to engage with your government, get to know your neighbors, work with your neighbors, and make the community a better place. So I'm looking forward to submitting an idea for neighborhood decision making and voting when voting comes around in November as well. Thank you so much for telling us more about it. We do have to take a break, and we're going to end our show, as we always do, with a young person perspective. So I'm sure they're going to be voting as well on neighborhood decision making and talking to us about their perspective on engaging with government. So please stay tuned for that.
This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
I'm Nicole Martin, the proud ambassador for the Comfort Bear program. Comfort Bears provide these cuddly bears to local children who are terminally ill, facing trauma, or battling a serious illness. Every $20 donation will place a Comfort Bear into the loving arms of a child involved in our program. It is our hope to distribute 1,000 bears in 2022. Please join us and provide comfort to kids in their time of need.
Join us September 30th for the Yes I Can Gathering for Girls at Matthews Hall, a safe place for girls 12 to 14 to work through the tough stuff they face every day. Go to www.waymakerinc.ca for more information and to register.
Do you have questions about menopause and the menopause journey? We've got you covered. Join us for the Modern Woman's Menopause Show, and hopefully we can give you some answers. And of course, my friends, don't forget to sparkle.
Welcome back to LdnOnt TV here on Rogers TV. Always love this last segment of the show when we get to talk to a young person, get a youth perspective on some of the things that we've been talking about today. What an absolute pleasure to talk to Ainsley today. Ainsley, you are a presenter at the Association of Municipalities of Ontario conference. I saw it, I loved it, and I'm just so excited that you were able to come here and talk to our viewers as well. So talk to me about that experience.
Well, for one, it was not nervous, except for, my parents were like very, very nervous.
On your behalf?
Yeah.
Way to go,
I was just cruising.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, so.
For those people who didn't get to go, what did you tell those municipal politicians about?
Yeah, so I just put it so teenagers don't really have a voice in politics.
Yes.
So I want the government and politicians to come down to their level and be go to events that teenagers go to.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Right. And do you think that you convinced anybody?
I think so.
You've convinced me. Well, you didn't have to convince me.
Yeah, Dad said after the my speech, a lot of people came up to him and said how good of a job I did.
So why is this so important to you? Obviously, teenager.
Yeah.
But what is important about engaging with people of your age and people around your age? Why is it important for politicians to be hearing your voice?
Well, for one, I went to a lot of events with my dad, so I saw a lot of the things happen. And then when I talked to my friends at school about like politicians, they don't really know what I'm talking about and like what politicians do for like London and other places.
Right. And I think one of the reasons it's important is because a lot of people don't even bother to vote.
Yeah.
And so if you, at least you know how important it is and all of the different jobs that politicians do and how they impact your life, maybe it's going to encourage more people to get involved and vote.
I hope so.
Right, because we did have a pretty low turnout the last couple of elections.
Yeah.
Talked just before we were chatting with you today with Jennifer from the city about the neighborhood decision-making program. So that is a program that young people can get involved in, and anybody can, no matter what their age, can submit an idea and also vote on an idea. What do you think of that program?
Well, for one, I always liked it, and the rest of my siblings always do. We have this park near our house that just swings, yet it never gets voted in, and it's always funny to like see what actually does.
Do you have any great ideas? What would you change about the city if you could?
Well, for one, I would still change the park that's near me.
So more things to climb?
Yeah.
Maybe more shade?
I do love the swings, so more swings, not just like the big swings and then the toddler.
Right.
But more of those, so I can swing too.
Yeah, sometimes it's not fair because you have to wait because there's already people on the swings.
And then
great
just
point.
stay on it.
I know, right? Yeah, great point, great point. All right, so you're busy with your political advocacy. You're busy with communicating with your friends. What else are you up to these days, Ainsley? I think ballerina?
Yes, I dance a lot at North London Dance Centre.
Cool.
Yep, and I do it mostly like every week.
Right.
Every day, almost.
Right. And how's school so far this year? Back to school?
It's good, yeah. Things are almost back to normal.
Right.
Yeah.
So awesome. And where can we hear from you next? Are you going to be giving some more speeches coming up?
I hope so.
Fantastic. I know I was super impressed. I know most of the attendees that I've heard from were super impressed. So maybe there's a future for you in politics as well?
I hope so. It'd be great.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today. Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Big thank you to all of our guests, and we hope you'll tune in again next week for more LdnOnt TV.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university. So they toasted his profs, his TAs, his old roommates. Well, they toasted just about everyone. But I worry about and take care of my guys. So even when I know they're not driving, sometimes that means bringing them a little surprise. And then they had a drink to me.
Brought to you by Smart Serve Ontario and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Yeah, it's a relatively even start to this one here. Both teams kind of just bouncing it around between each other's side. Swordbird is going to get another beautiful shot right into the back of that fan shot net there off a nice counterattack opportunity.